Okay, guys, what's going on? I just recorded a 20-minute video, and I try to upload to YouTube, and it's all sideways. So I recorded it wrong. So we're doing it again. So here's my thoughts and concerns about 2022 Baltimore Ravens. A couple days ago, I made a video singing my praises about the Orioles, and they've lost 3 straight games. I know. I give my condolences, and they suck. So hopefully this does not happen with the Ravens. But we're going to talk about that. Let's talk about the offseason. Got a couple of things in the offseason I want to talk about. First thing is the draft. I really enjoyed the draft this year. Got some absolute steals. Stole Kyle Hamilton, 14th overall pick. Stole David Ojabo in the 2nd round. Can't wait for him to become healthy. Also, as well, just got some amazing players as well in the draft. Tyler Linderbaum is our 2nd first-round pick. Can't wait for him to be an amazing center for us and to bolster our offensive line. They also got Daniel Foy. We got Travis Jones. We got Jordan Stout, our new punter. We got Amor Davis, Tyler Batty. Some great picks. Got 11 draft picks this year, and all of them, honestly, these players don't look to be amazing. These players turn out to be amazing, then good for them. But yeah, had a very good draft. Eric DeCosta, you've done it again. So then, also have some notable off-season stuff. Wink Martindale getting fired. Was not expecting that, but I do like Mike McDonald as our new defensive coordinator. Obviously left the organization last year, become the DC for the Michigan Wolverines. Go blue. Had to turned around their defense. Made a playoff berth for the first time. Turned guys like Aiden Hutchinson, David Ojabo. I don't really know a lot of Michigan players, but made them great. And getting a couple of former Wolverines, drafting Ojabo in the 2nd round, getting Josh Ross as an undrafted free agent. Some great moves here. So I expect us to get some more former Wolverines in the next couple of years, since McDonald did work with some of them during his short time in Michigan. But yeah, I'm excited for him. We've seen some stuff on the preseason. Had some amazing interceptions and turnovers. Some huge, in the Commies and Cardinals game, had 2 huge turnover on downs. Basically to keep the game alive for them. Had some great defense for them to turn around and to keep the streak going to 23 now. Yeah, Sam Cook did retire, a long time punter. But he is still with the team, which is awesome. He is a consultant for the special teams. He's working out with his longtime buddy, and the GOAT, Justin Tucker, as well as also teaching Jordan Stout on how to be an elite hunter. So, yeah, congratulations, Sam Cook. You had an amazing playing career, and I can't wait to see what amazing stuff you can bring to the table as a coach. Also, as well, you did have Villanueva retire, which I was very excited for. He sucked major balls last year. Definitely got a lot of holding penalties. I'm glad he's gone. We were probably gonna cut him anyway if he didn't retire. I did not like him. But talking about the preseason here. Really good preseason. The streak continues. Main goal, the NFL has to pick 3 teams to lose to the Ravens every year in August. And those teams were the Titans, Cardinals, and Commies. They did, they tried. But MVP of the preseason, Isaiah Likely. He absolutely balled out in the first 2 games, especially against the Cardinals. Had some great catches, got a touchdown. I'm definitely a huge W in the draft. In a couple of years we can have an elite duo of Andrews and Likely as 2 lethal tight ends. Honestly, Greg Roman loves his tight ends, so I can't wait to see what interesting concepts they can do, having 2 or potentially even 3 tight ends, with Nick Boyle on the field. Definitely adds some confusion to the defense. Isaiah Likely, I can't wait to see him in the regular season. Probably won't get a lot of snaps. Obviously Mark Andrews being, all-pro tight end, broke the Ravens receiving yards and targets last year. As a tight end, all-pro, has definitely cemented himself as in definitely top 3, if not the best tight end in the league. Likely is likely to have a great career with the Ravens. Some other, Huntley, Snoop Dogg, had some great moments in the preseason. Obviously, working in the first halves of each game. Snoop Dogg did an amazing job. We did see him play some regular season times due to Lamar's injury, but he definitely looks a lot better than he did last year. I think Snoop was trying to force some things that wasn't going to work. Snoop Dogg, I think, definitely can be a starter in the league, for some teams that are desperate for quarterbacks, like Cleveland, Seattle, and Carolina. I think Snoop Dogg could be a good starter in the league, but we'll have to wait and see. He's a great backup QB, so in case worst case scenario, Lamar's out for a couple games, I believe Snoop Dogg will be able to come in and to make it competitive and hopefully get some wins. Hopefully that doesn't happen like it did last year. But some concerns I have, definitely running backs right now. JK is off the list, so I don't want to see him come back. I don't want to see him get injured again. I don't want him to I don't want him to be forced back, into that, have him slowly, get acquainted to, being RB1 for the Ravens. They do have some great running back insurance. Mike Davis, signed him in free agency. Got drafted Tyler Batty. So there's some insurance, and I think the run game we'll be good without him, but I do expect him to come back maybe week 2, week 3. Take on some more tougher opponents, like the Dolphins and the Patriots to start out the season. I do expect Dobbins to have a comeback year, and I think is a contender for comeback player of the year. Yeah, hopefully he'll be amazing. We also have young wide receivers. We did get some veteran wide receivers, drafted. I think they're not drafted. I think DeMarcus Robinson. I think that's his name, number 10, for the Ravens. Had an amazing preseason game against the Commies. I think had 4 targets for 130 yards and a touchdown. Had a 60-yard touchdown pass. 60-yard touchdown. He looked amazing, and definitely, if we can have a guy like him that can make those, has some huge, deep plays, that'll be amazing. And yeah, he looked great against us last year, and hopefully he'll look great with us this year. Anyway, you do have that. Rashad Bateman, Devin Duvernay, James Dorsey, they're all young and hungry, so we're able to feed them the ball a lot. I think Rashad Bateman is going to have a great second season. Didn't really have a great rookie season. Only got 1 touchdown pass from Josh Johnson, of all people. Yeah, I expect Bateman to be a great wide receiver this year. Devin Duvernay, James Prochet, obviously wanting to prove themselves this year. Had some great plays last season, so hopefully you can see that this year. And then the big thing is obviously Lamar's contract. I know, everyone's talking about it. Oh, is he gonna leave? No, he's not gonna leave. I think obviously I want him to sign a contract or sign an extension, so I don't have to worry about it. I don't have to stop, and I can finally stop talking about it. But I think Lamar did give a deadline before week 1 of contract negotiations worked out. I believe he will sign the contract extension probably the day before the game, probably on Friday or Saturday. A couple days before the game against the Jets. And even if there is no contract, he's just gonna be, get on his 5th-year option, and Lamar, as stated, he wants to be a Raven for life. And honestly, I think, he wants to stay here. The organization wants him to stay. I don't think there's no ill will between the two sides. It's just figuring out the perfect deal, because we've seen, organizations overpay their franchise quarterback, if Arizona, with Kyler Murray, that was overpaid. Kyler Murray, in my opinion, was overpaid. And when you have to put a clause for him to basically study, it doesn't look that great. You also have, the rapist, Deshaun Watson, got way overpaid. The Browns were too desperate to get someone elite, and they have to face the consequences of him being a rapist and him being suspended for most of the season, even though it should be the entire season. That stupid bee. But yeah, I think they're trying to. I don't think they want to go over the rainbow, like they did with Joe Flacco back after him winning the Super Bowl almost 10 years ago. They don't want to overpay for Flacco. don't want to I don't think they don't want to overpay Lamar. I think they just want to find a good contract. And really there just hasn't been a lot of news about it. Players have been saying, they're not worried about it. Lamar's not worried about it. So I'm not worried about it. I know some fans are worried about it. Like, oh, he's going to leave. Oh no. He liked a picture of him in a Dolphins uniform. He grew up in Florida. That's where he grew up. Okay, he probably liked the Dolphins as a child. He's from South Florida. Guess where Miami is? South Florida. So, honestly, I'm not worried about him leaving. He got a full chest tattoo of a raven. And for him to get a tattoo of that and just leave the next year makes zero sense. I don't want to say he wants to be a Raven for life, but I think both sides are trying to find like the perfect contract. It's about the mower. I'm outside on my campus, so if you hear some outside noises previously, that's why. I'm sitting on a bench, So if you hear any outside noises, that's why. Don't worry about it. But yeah, I'm not worried about the contract at all. I do want it to get signed, but I'm not worried about him leaving. So yeah. Predictions for this year, honestly, I think the Ravens are definitely, I think they're contenders. Absolutely, they are contenders. I think they will win the AFC North. With the Bengals probably going to have a Super Bowl slump. Every team has a Super Bowl slump, and the Bengals are going to have a Super Bowl slump. The Steelers are just a big ball of mediocre. Can they have a losing season? Hopefully, yes. But they'll probably finish like 9-8. Or like go 8-1. Like tie in a 17-game season, which they almost did last year. They almost did that. And then the Browns with, the whole Watson thing and Jacoby Brissett being your quarterback for 2/3 of the season. Yeah, I do think the Ravens win the AFC North. I think Lamar will shut up his haters once for all. Either A, winning the whole thing in the Super Bowl, which would be awesome, or B, having a deep playoff run, which he hasn't had. I know Lamar's playoff success isn't the greatest, but, look at some of the other greats, like Peyton Manning, for example. First, went 0-3 in his first 3 playoff games, and look at what he's done, since, won 2 Super Bowls, and has had deep playoff runs. He started out rough, but look where it ended up. And I believe the same will apply for Lamar. He is currently 1-3 in the playoffs. Only win coming against the Titans back in 2020, the wild card. But I think Lamar will finally shut up his haters this year with a deep playoff run or a Super Bowl appearance / win. I expect Dobbins to be a contender. Lamar and Dobbins to be contenders for comeback player of the year. I think we have a very scary secondary that hardly anyone is talking about. I think it's extremely underrated. You have, shut down cornerbacks and Marlon Humphrey and Marcus Peters, and adding safeties, like Marcus Williams in free agency, and drafting Kyle Hamilton. It's going to be an elite defense plus secondary. The offense is going to be very good on the running game, and I think will be above average for passing. I think 12, I think probably 11 to 13 wins, I think is good for the Ravens. I think 11 to 13 wins season, I think will be great for the Ravens. But I'm very excited about this team. Unlike Steel Dude 11, who is not excited. I mean, he is excited, but he's not excited. Because the Steelers are extremely mediocre. Haha. But the Ravens aren't. So, go Ravens. I'm very excited about this season. Can't wait for Sunday. It can't come sooner enough. Ravens flock, what up?